Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving deep into Indian insurance, and specifically we're looking at SBI Life Insurance's performance for the third quarter of fiscal year 2025.
Sounds good.
So to get into all this, we've got three sources. We've got the hot off the presses press release. We also have their investor presentation,
Okay.
and we've got the SBI Life Insurance Company LTD statement of audited financial results.
Wow, that's quite a few different sources.
Yeah, it is. So think of us as your guide through all of this. We're going to help you understand, the key takeaways from SBI Life's performance and see what it all means for the insurance market in India.
Yeah, and I think what's going to be really interesting is to see how SBI Life is responding to some of the trends that we're seeing in the larger insurance market in India.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The press release is super upbeat. It highlights SBI Life's strong growth and their position in the market.
Okay.
They're saying that they have a 22.4% share of the private sector's new business premium.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant market share. And, new business premium, or NBP as it's often called, is basically the total premiums from all the new policies that were sold in a given period.
All
So
right.
essentially, it's a measure of how much new business an insurance company is bringing in. So a high NBP, like SBI Life has, typically indicates that they've got a really good sales pipeline and effective customer acquisition strategies.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. And it's not just growth for the sake of growth. They're also seeing a 12% surge in their individual MVP, which hit a pretty remarkable 198.6
Right.
billion rupees.
Wow.
So I'm curious, what's driving this strong performance that they're seeing specifically in the individual insurance segment?
Well, it seems like they're tapping into a growing demand for life insurance and financial planning products among Indian consumers.
Makes sense.
There is a rising awareness among people of the need for financial security, particularly as we
Sure.
see a growing middle class and increasing life expectancy in India.
Yeah, absolutely. People are starting to realize, that they need to plan for the future, and it sounds like SBI Life is really offering products that speak to that need.
Right.
But what about the financial side of things? The press release also emphasizes their focus on cost efficiency. They say they have a 10.2% total cost ratio. Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, so the total cost ratio is essentially a measure of how much an insurance company spends for each rupee of premium income that they generate. So generally, a lower ratio indicates that a company is more efficient.
Okay.
Now, it is worth noting that SBI Life's ratio has increased slightly from the previous year,
Okay.
but it's still very competitive.
So they're keeping expenses under control. Is that unique to SBI Life, or is this a trend we're seeing across the industry as a whole?
Cost efficiency is really crucial for any insurance company to be successful. But SBI Life, it seems like they've been particularly focused on it. They've really been streamlining their operations. They've been embracing technology to try to automate a lot of their processes and optimizing their distribution networks. So all these things, I think, are contributing to their ability to maintain that healthy cost ratio.
That's impressive. So they're acquiring customers effectively, and they're also being smart about their spending. But are those customers sticking around?
Right.
That's a good question. I mean, are people staying with SBI Life once they sign up? What about customer retention?
That's where persistency rates come into play. And SBI Life is reporting an 86.1% 13th month persistency rate and a 63.3% for the 61st month.
Okay. I think we need to break this down a little bit because I'm not sure I fully understand what does 13th month persistency rate mean
Sure.
and why should we care about that?
Yeah, so these persistency rates essentially tell us the percentage of policyholders that are still paying their premiums after a specific period of time. So in this case, 86.1% of customers stuck with SBI Life after 1 year,
Wow.
which is a pretty good number. And then over 63% are still with them after 5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So these are strong numbers. They indicate that customers are satisfied with the services that SBI Life is providing and that they're choosing to stick around.
Right. So high persistency rates are a good thing for any business. It means that you're building loyalty and trust with your customers, but loyalty is a two-way street.
Yeah.
So what is SBI Life doing to make sure that they're actually delivering on their promises to policyholders?
Well, one really key indicator is their death claim settlement ratio. SBI Life actually boasts a 99.3% overall settlement rate.
Okay, 99.3%. That sounds good, but to be honest, I don't really know what that means practically.
Yeah. So basically what that means is that out of all the death claims that are filed, SBI Life is successfully honoring 99.3% of them,
Wow.
which means they're delivering on that core promise, to provide financial security to beneficiaries when a policyholder passes away.
That's a really good point. I mean, it shows that they're not just talking the talk,
Right.
but they're actually walking the walk when it
Exactly.
comes to meeting their obligations.
Yeah.
And it also looks like they're embracing this digital age. The investor presentation really highlights their push towards digital transformation with like a huge 98.7% of individual applications now being submitted digitally.
Yeah. That is a huge number. And I think it speaks to the fact that SBI Life is committed to adapting to the evolving needs of their customers.
Yeah.
This isn't just about convenience. This is about creating a more seamless and accessible experience for customers.
That makes sense. It sounds like they're trying to simplify that whole process of buying and managing insurance and making it easier for everyone. But are there any potential downsides to this big digital shift? Could they maybe be alienating customers who still prefer more traditional methods?
Yeah, that's a valid concern. I think it's really crucial for SBI Life to find that balance between catering to customers who still prefer that face-to-face interaction
Yeah.
while also, you know, pushing forward with these digital initiatives.
Yeah, so they need to kind of keep their existing customer base happy while also attracting these new customers that are much more digitally savvy.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting to see how they navigate all of that. But, we can't really just look at SBI Life's performance in isolation. We need to also consider the broader economic trends that are shaping the Indian insurance market as a whole.
Absolutely. India has a really vibrant economy. It has a rapidly expanding middle class
Right.
and rising incomes. And there's this increasing awareness among people about the importance of financial planning. And all of this is contributing to a surge in demand for insurance products.
So it's creating this fertile ground for companies like SBI Life to really grow.
Yeah. Exactly. And it seems like they're really riding this wave of economic growth, but at the same time, they're positioning themselves to ride this wave of digital transformation as well.
Right. It's like they're trying to catch two waves at the same time. Exactly. But there's also this other wave that they seem to be targeting, which is the growing demand for pension-based products
Right.
and annuities in particular. The investor presentation touches upon this, and they link it to India's aging population and rising life expectancy.
That's a really smart move. As people are living longer, the need for a steady stream of income during retirement becomes even more critical.
Right.
And annuities are designed specifically to address that need.
It sounds like SBI Life is really thinking long-term. They're thinking about future needs and developing these products to meet those needs.
Right.
But what are some of the specific challenges that they might face in the annuity market?
Well, I think one key challenge is going to be competition.
Okay.
As the demand for these annuity products rises, we can expect to see more and more players entering the market,
Right.
which is going to make it more and more difficult for SBI Life to really stand out.
So they can't just rest on their laurels. They need to be proactive
Exactly.
and innovative
Yes.
and maybe even a little bit daring to really stay ahead of the curve in that market.
Absolutely. I think this is where their digital expertise could give them a real edge.
Okay.
They can leverage technology to create more personalized annuity solutions,
Right.
streamline the application process,
Yeah.
and make it easier for customers to manage their plans.
And make it easier for customers to understand their options as well.
Exactly. And they'll need to educate the market about the benefits of annuities.
Yeah.
Many people are still unfamiliar with these products, so SBI Life will need to communicate clearly how annuities can contribute to a secure retirement.
Right. So it's kind of this multi-pronged approach. They need product innovation, customer education, and smart use of technology.
Exact.
It sounds like they have their work cut out for them, but it seems like they are also operating from a position of strength.
They are. They're leveraging their strong brand reputation and their extensive distribution network
Right.
and their technological capabilities to really position themselves as a leader in this annuity space. So it'll be really interesting to see how this segment of their business evolves.
Okay. I'm excited to learn more about that. Before we dive into their financials, what is standing out to you so far? What aspects of SBI Life's performance are maybe noteworthy or even surprising?
Yeah, I think what's fascinating to me is how SBI Life is sort of weaving together traditional strengths with this forward-looking approach.
Okay.
They're a really well-established player in this market,
Yeah.
but they're not just resting on their past successes. They're actively embracing digital transformation and recognizing this need to adapt to the changing needs of their customers. And I think their focus on annuities shows a strategic awareness of the demographic shifts and the long-term financial needs that we're seeing in India.
It's a really powerful combination. They're building on what they already have and also preparing for the future. So I think now it's time to shift gears a little bit and delve into those audited financial results. This is
Mhm.
where we're going to get a much more granular view of SBI Life's financial health and their performance.
Yeah, let's see what these numbers are really telling us.
Let's do it.
All right,
Let's
let's,
do.
sounds good. Okay, so let's dig into these financial statements. What numbers stand out to you?
Well, I'd say the first thing that grabs my attention is that 48% jump in profit after tax, which reaches a pretty significant 16 billion rupees.
Wow.
That's quite a considerable increase, especially when compared to the same period last year, and it suggests really strong operational performance and effective financial management.
Okay.
But it's not just about the bottom line. We need to look at where is that profit coming from and how sustainable is that profit.
So where's this profit coming from? What's really driving this impressive performance? Well, a key indicator here is their value of new business, or VONB, which has increased by 6%, hitting 42.9 billion rupees.
Okay, so I know we're trying to avoid too much jargon, but for those of us who aren't financial experts, can you break down what VONB actually means and why is it important?
Yeah. VONB is essentially a way to measure the profitability of the new policies that SBI Life sold during this quarter.
Okay.
So it takes into account things like the expected premiums and potential claims from those new policies,
Yeah.
and then discounts those profits back to their present value.
So it's a way to kind of look ahead
You're at
and assess the long-term value of the business that they're bringing in.
precisely.
And a growing VONB suggests that they're not just selling more policies,
Right.
but they're selling policies that are likely to be profitable for them over time.
Exactly. It's a sign of that sustainable growth that we talked about. And if we look at their VONB margin, which is essentially the VONB expressed as a percentage of the new business premium that comes in at a very respectable 26.9%, which means that for every 100 rupees of a new premium that they collect, they're generating almost 27 rupees of present value profit.
Okay, so that kind of gives us a sense of how profitable that new business is. What about the bigger picture? What about their overall financial stability?
Right. Well, that's where their solvency ratio comes into play.
Okay.
And SBI Life boasts a very robust solvency ratio of 2.04, which is significantly higher than the regulatory requirement of 1.5. Oh.
All right, another financial term. Can you unpack what this solvency ratio is and what it tells us about SBI Life's financial health?
Yeah, so think of a company's solvency ratio as kind of like a measure of its financial cushion, its ability to withstand maybe some unexpected shocks or downturns in the market.
Okay.
It indicates whether the company has enough assets to cover its liabilities, even in some kind of adverse scenarios. So a higher solvency ratio, like the one SBI Life has, suggests that they have greater financial strength and stability.
Okay, so it's almost like a safety net, making sure they can meet their obligations to policyholders, even if things get a little bit tough. It's
Right.
good to know that they have that financial buffer.
It
What
is.
about their assets under management?
Right, so their assets under management, or AUM, has grown by a substantial 19%
Okay.
to reach 4.4 trillion rupees.
Wow, that is a very large number. It speaks to their growth, but it also reflects on their skill in managing those funds.
Exactly. You know, insurance companies aren't just collecting premiums. They're also investing those premiums very wisely to generate returns that will enable them to meet their future obligations to policyholders.
Right.
And a growing AUM, like SBI Life's, suggests they're making those smart investment decisions, which contributes to their long-term financial health.
So they're really playing the long game here, making sure they can honor their commitment to those policyholders years down the road.
Years down the road, exactly.
But let's not forget about the human element here.
Yeah.
What does all of this mean for the average person who's maybe considering SBI Life for their insurance needs?
You know, I think these financial results paint a picture of a company that's not only financially robust, but also growing and adapting to this constantly changing market.
Yeah.
They are embracing digital transformation, prioritizing that customer-centric approach,
Yeah.
and demonstrating this consistent profitability.
Yeah.
So I think all of that should give potential customers confidence that SBI Life is a reliable and trustworthy insurance provider.
So almost like if you're choosing a bank,
Exactly.
you want to know that your money is safe and that they're well managed and financially secure.
Exactly. And when you consider their specific initiatives, like their focus on simplifying customer journeys, through technology
Yeah.
and the really wide range of products,
Yeah.
it kind of reinforces that commitment to meeting the very diverse needs of their customers.
It sounds like they're making insurance less daunting
Right.
and more accessible to people.
Yeah, and I think that's really important in India, where financial literacy is still developing. And so SBI Life's efforts to really demystify insurance and make it easier to understand are definitely playing a role in their strong growth and customer loyalty.
Okay, so it's all starting to come together.
Yeah.
But I want to circle back to that annuity opportunity.
Okay.
The investor presentation highlighted this as a big growth area for SBI Life, but they also mentioned some potential challenges.
Yeah.
What are some of the headwinds that they might encounter as they try to expand into this market?
Well, you're right. It's not going to be all easy.
Yeah.
One major challenge that I think they're going to face is competition.
Okay.
As the demand for annuities rises, we can expect to see more and more players entering that market,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to make it that much more difficult for SBI Life to stand out.
Right. So they really can't afford to just become complacent.
Exactly.
They need to be proactive,
Yes.
innovative,
Yes.
and a little bit daring to stay ahead.
Absolutely.
But this is where their digital expertise could give them that edge.
Right.
They can use technology to create more personalized solutions for annuities and streamline the application process and make it easier for customers to manage those plans.
Absolutely. And they'll need to do a good job of educating the market about what annuities are and what the benefits are.
Right.
Because, a lot of people are still unfamiliar with these products. So SBI Life needs to communicate really clearly how annuities can contribute to a secure retirement.
Okay, so it's that multi-pronged approach again. Product innovation,
Yes.
customer education,
Yes.
and really smart use of technology.
Exactly.
It sounds like they have a lot of work to do,
They do.
but they're in a really good position to do that work.
They are. They're leveraging their really strong brand reputation.
Yeah.
And their extensive distribution network.
Right.
And their tech capabilities to position themselves as a leader in the annuity space. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of that evolves.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that happens. Well, we've really covered a lot of ground.
We have.
We've gone from SBI Life's financial performance to their strategic initiatives and kind of the broader market trends that are shaping their journey.
Yeah.
So I think now it's time to maybe zoom out a little bit and think about the implications for the Indian insurance market overall. What does SBI Life's performance tell us about the bigger trends we're seeing in this sector?
I'm happy to talk about that.
Yeah, so we've really looked closely at SBI Life's success, but I'm wondering, what does their performance tell us about the bigger picture? What about the Indian insurance sector overall?
Well, SBI Life's journey, I think, really reflects a larger transformation that we're seeing across the whole Indian insurance landscape.
Okay.
There's this convergence of factors,
Yeah.
rising incomes and a growing awareness of the need for financial planning and these rapid technological advancements.
Uh-huh.
And these are all driving this unprecedented demand for insurance products.
Yeah, it really does seem like the perfect storm for the industry, but
It is.
every storm has its ups and downs, right? So what are some of the challenges and opportunities that insurers are facing as they deal with this surge in demand?
Well, on the one hand, there's this massive untapped market
Right.
that's ripe for exploration.
Yeah.
Millions of Indians are entering the middle class, and they're looking for financial security and protection for themselves and their families.
Makes sense.
So this represents a huge opportunity for insurers to really expand their reach and develop products that cater to these evolving needs.
Right. So they need to recognize that this new generation of consumers has maybe different needs and expectations than the previous generation.
Exactly. And I think this is really where technology is becoming a game changer.
Okay.
Digital platforms, mobile apps, data analytics, artificial intelligence. These aren't just buzzwords anymore. They're really transforming the way that insurance is bought and sold and even managed.
So it seems like the insurance industry is finally kind of catching up to the digital age.
Yeah.
And companies like SBI Life, with their focus on digital transformation, are leading the way.
They are. They are. And, this shift towards digitalization, it's not just about convenience. It's about creating a much more inclusive and accessible insurance ecosystem.
Right.
Imagine the potential impact of mobile apps that can reach people, even in the most remote areas of India, providing access to financial services for
Right.
people who may have been excluded in the past.
It's really cool to think about how business success and social impact can work together.
Absolutely.
So as the insurance market in India grows and changes, what are some key trends that our listeners should keep an eye on?
Okay, well, first, the demand for insurance products is likely to remain strong for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
It's driven by economic growth, rising incomes, and that increasing awareness of the need for financial planning.
Uh,
And second, technology is going to continue to reshape this industry,
uh-huh.
which is going to lead to more personalized and accessible and convenient insurance solutions. And then finally, competition is going to get more intense
Makes sense.
as more players enter this market, which is going to push companies to innovate and differentiate themselves even further.
So it's a dynamic and evolving market. It's got challenges and has a lot of opportunity.
It does.
For consumers, I think it's a really interesting time to explore all of the different insurance options that are out there and try to find the solutions that meet their individual needs.
Exactly. And for those who might still feel a little bit intimidated by insurance, knowledge is power.
Yeah,
Take some time to learn about the different types of insurance, compare what different providers are offering, and don't hesitate to ask questions if you need to.
that's great advice. Well, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into SBI Life and the Indian insurance market. I want to leave our listeners with one final thought to consider.
Okay.
We've seen how SBI Life is combining their traditional strengths with this new forward-looking, digitally driven approach.
Yeah.
But what if this is just the beginning?
Right.
What if the insurance landscape in India 10 years from now is completely different from what we see today?
That's a great question. What if artificial intelligence becomes our own personal financial advisor and it crafts these personalized insurance plans for us
Right.
that evolve as their needs change? Or what if blockchain technology comes in and completely revolutionizes how claims are processed, making it instantaneous and transparent and secure?
Yeah, those are really exciting possibilities. It seems like the future of insurance in India is full of potential,
It is.
and we're excited to see how it unfolds. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope you found this deep dive insightful and engaging. Until next time, keep exploring and keep asking those thought-provoking questions.